The subject matter of this video is power of the legal state. Now, when we are talking about the power of the legal state, we're talking about those who are in charge of everything that is legal. So the governments basically have legal authority over all legal registrants, and therefore can call in anything to do with legal title at any moment. They have the power to take legal bank accounts. They're able to take legal title to property that you may think is yours. How do they do this? Well, we have to get right down to the crux of this, and we're in Black's Law 4th under eminent domain. Now, I've done this in a previous video way back, I can't say how many years ago, but now we're having to get into summary of these points because I think we've lost them along the trail over those years that the videos were put out to share research. But let's go to eminent domain, Black's Law 4th. It says the power to take private property for public use. The right of eminent domain is the right of the state through its regular organization to reassert, either temporarily or permanently, its dominion over any portion of the soil of the state on account of public exigency and for the public good. Thus, in time of war or insurrection, the proper authorities may possess and hold any part of the territory of the state for the common safety. And in time of peace, the legislature may authorize the appropriation of the same to public purposes, such as the opening of roads, construction of defenses, or providing channels for trade or travel. The right of society or of the sovereign to dispose, in case of necessity and for the public safety, of all the wealth contained in the state is called eminent domain. That means everything. All the money, your bank accounts, anything that you've accumulated, property, anything you could think of that you came into possession of legally. Eminent domain is the highest and most exact idea of property remaining in the government or in the aggregate body of the people in their sovereign capacity. It gives a right to resume the possession of the property in the manner directed by the Constitution and the laws of the state whenever the public interest requires it. You need to listen to this video over and over again if you have access to this. I know not all have access. A lot of these volumes of Black's Law are available online in PDF. So go to that, but you need to read these things to realize just because you think you have private, what you call private property, no, you have private access to what the crown or the legal sovereign state allows you to use because it's theirs. They're just letting you pretend it's yours under a licensing agreement. So you are just basically in possession, kind of in a make-believe imagination world, but people have actually, in their mind, because they've had it so long and they've never seen a disruption of it, they don't believe it could ever come. So with everything you're seeing right now in the world scene, could it be leading to the fact that this is going to happen? That eminent domain of the sovereignty of whatever you call the leaders or those that you give your allegiance to, are they going to seize this property? Well, you look at the word legal execution, it means in the English law, seizure of property. So how could you possibly have had anything, since the very thing that happened in the beginning of the issuance of a birth registration was a legal execution, which is a seizure of property. And in the 198th cause of death in the handbook for birth and death registrations that were handed out to doctors in the 30s, it stated that legal execution was one of the causes of death because if you don't have property, you're not really existing. So the state already really has it. They've already taken it. You just don't know it, but they're letting you think you own it still. This is something you're going to have to take some time to realize, and it may be a very bitter pill to swallow. But better to swallow a bitter pill of truth than to remain confused and hallucinating in the fiction.